Hello guys, welcome to another episode of our Python for Artificial Intelligence playlist, where we look at some of the Python concepts needed to be able to learn artificial intelligence and other technologies that go with it. So today we'll be looking at dictionaries. Dictionaries are a very important data type in Python. So we'll be looking at dictionaries. So dictionaries are a collection of key value pairs. Yeah, key value pairs separated by commas. So dictionaries are something like this. So let's say we had a dictionary, let's say person. This is already a dictionary. It's empty, but it's a dictionary. This is what it takes to create a dictionary. So we have just created a dictionary person. But now normally a dictionary is a collection of key value pairs separated by commas. Key value pairs separated by commas within curly braces. We can already see the curly braces there. Now they don't that, like the key value pairs, we don't have them yet. So for example, a person, and dictionaries are, like I said, are a very important data type. They are used for storing. Most of the times we want that, like when working in applications, there are many times you want to have related data stored together to be able to perform, like do add certain functionalities, or be able to do certain things. So a dictionary permits us to store related data together and be able to access parts of the, like, or parts of that of that dictionary, like different parts of it, by like calling the keys and getting the value they hold. So a dictionary might, like I said, are key value pairs. So yeah, a dictionary, for example, a dictionary person. So a dictionary person will be a dictionary that describes a person. That means we might have a situation we want to represent a person in the form of in an application. Want to represent a person like this. This is like the object in other programming languages like JavaScript. So we might want to represent a person in programmatic form, so that we can be able to do certain things with the person. There's a lot that can be done. So some of the things a person might have is, a person might have a first name. Sorry, first name. Sorry. So first name. So person's first name might be John. This is already a dictionary. It has just one item, but it's already a dictionary. So dictionaries are a collection of key value pairs separated by commas within curly braces. So we are already seeing one key value pair. The key is first name, the value is John. it, it could be many. We also have last name here, which is something, let's just say J. So that's another key value pair. So that's a dictionary. So dictionaries can, you can use many different data types here. Like for example, you can have something that you can even have one. I don't know what can be stored, but just to make you know, you can have a number, and like you can have a number. You can use any kind of uh data type as a key. You can use any kind of data type as a key. Not any type, but when I say any type, I just mean, okay, you can use strings, because you can see first name and last name as strings. You can see one is an integer. You can even use a float. So for example, we might say one. I don't know what one could represent, but let's just say one meant let's say one was holding something, let's say a letter, and then one is an integer. We could also have a floating point value. So let's say 2.5 can also still be a key, and then let's say 2.5 is tied to 5. The like you can have strings, integers, floating point numbers. You can even have a tuple. We have not looked at tuple, but I mean, like, you can have something like let's say um let's say, Like, I'm just demonstrating the things that can go inside a dictionary. Like, don't try to uh, get too much meaning into this. We are just first of all looking at how dictionaries are. So this is a dictionary, a collection of key value pairs, separated by commas in curly braces. So this is it. This is a dictionary person. So in a real situation, we might want to hold data that represent that like that is associated with a person. So we might want to have first name, last name, sex, country, nationality, different things. We can have different things about a person. So I'm going to take off all these other parts. It was just for demonstration. And let's just say another the person had another uh, property. Let's say sex. We can say male. So then we could also say date of birth. Let's say the date of birth. Let's just abbreviate it. So we could say 1995. So this is a person dictionary. So the like about dictionaries, some of the things we are going to look at some of the like built-in functions that work with dictionaries and some of the things we can do with dictionaries. So most of the times if you are storing data like this in a dictionary, it's for the sake of being able to pick values, like being able to pick certain values. We saw that with list. We could store a collection of items in a list and be able to pick them by referencing their indexes. Like, okay, you want to pick the last item. Maybe if it's a list of 5, you want to pick the last item. Okay, you know it's at index 4. You say, like, you provide the name and you add the index in square brackets and you get it. So for dictionaries, is the same thing. Most of the times we are not just storing the data there for the sake of, we are storing so we can be able to access it and use it somewhere else. So this is a person. So we might want to we might have a situation where we want to access what's wrong with accessing items in dictionaries. So we might want to access items in a dictionary. So one way you can do that is we are going to be using print like we do most of the times. So I already have my command prompt open in this folder, so we can. So we might want to access the first name, the person dictionary first name. So what we have to do is to just say person square bracket, and then you already see it. You see it already highlighted there. That's it. And if we try to run this, Python dictionaries .py, can't open file desktop dictionaries.py. Okay, I need to navigate into CT. So we get John, and we could access even the last name. So we could still do this. We get J, which is the last name. So that is accessing items in a dictionary. All you have to do is write write the dictionary, and after it in square bracket you add the key, and the key gives you the value. So the key gives you the value. So just like we saw with list, like adding an index gives you the value that is at that index. Here we see that adding a key gives you the value that key is associated with. So there are situations where we will need to use a dictionary, and there are situations where we will need to use a list. So don't try to see it like, okay, but they work almost the same. So the next thing we are going to look at is so we have just seen accessing items in a dictionary. So that's one thing we could want to do. Another thing we could want to do as far as dictionaries are concerned is adding items to a dictionary. For example, we see person has just 4 key value pairs, but we might want to add more items. We might want to add more items in this dictionary. So adding items. So adding items in a dictionary. So the way we can add items in a dictionary is almost like it's just almost like we are assigning a new key value pair, like adding like assigning a new key value pair. So to do it, for example, we already see person has first name, last name, sex, and date of birth. We might want to save nationality. So we could, if we say person, and we say normally we don't have any any property of or any key in this person dictionary, that is nationality. So if we should say nationality, and we do equals to so here we are adding a new key value pair to dictionary, because a nationality key didn't exist, and with the value Cameroonian. So now if we try to print our person dictionary, anyway, before doing this, I would like to do a first print up here of person dictionary, then do a second print after doing this assignment of nationality key that holds Cameroon as value. So when we run this, we should see the difference in the first one and in the second one. So we see here the first one has first name John, last name J, sex male, date of birth 1995, and the second one has all of it and nationality being Cameroonian. So that's adding an item to our person dictionary. And then same as adding an item to our person dictionary, we can also update our dictionary. So update, so we can also, there might be a situation we want to update an item in our dictionary. So this one adds a new key and its value. Now we could also update. So for example, we already know date of birth is 1995. Let's say maybe the person made a mistake and they need to update it. Now all you have to do is you have person square with, like, since what we want to change is date of birth, and now instead of 1995 we could say 1990. Now you do that, and now if you try to print, let's comment out this other, or let's just leave it. I hope you understand. So if you try to print person, we should see that the third person of, like, we know we are printing at 3 positions. We are printing on here on line 10, we are printing on line 13, and we are printing on line 17. So print, I'm sure you know what print is. Print is just like like displaying what we have on the console. That's the way we can test what we are doing. So we should see the third print having date of birth being 1990, while the other two have it as 1995. That's because it has been updated by assigning the key date of birth DOB, which was initially tied to 1995 as value, by now updating it to be assigned to a value 1990. So if we do this, if we save it and we run it again, we now see, okay, we see the first two have the same information, but here we are seeing, like, the third one, the date of birth is 1990. So that's updating entries in dictionaries. So, and we could also want to delete items in a dictionary. There might be a situation we want to delete a key value pair from a dictionary. So to do that, all we have to do is just do del, and when we do del, we specify the key we want to delete. So for example, in this case, we have said del, and let's say we want to delete nationality. If we delete nationality, we do this, and then we try to print person again, we should see that the fourth person doesn't have the nationality part to it. So if we try to print person again, so we do, so now we see the first one didn't have it because we had not yet added. Now we added, and then we did, and then the last one doesn't have nationality part. So that's deleting an entry from a dictionary. So in this case we are using nationality, but just I'm sure you understand the like the functionality. So that's just how it works. You might want to delete a particular key value pair, like a particular entry. All you have to do is use the del key keyword, and then you pass you call the dictionary itself, and in square bracket you pass the key you want to delete. So you like there is something I'd like to mention in this. When creating this dictionary, we already had four like had all these four entries, but there might be a situation where most of the time in programming things are not just like from the like most of the times things happen dynamically, like something is not static from the start, like you don't just have a particular data existing in a particular way from the start. Most of the times you need to create things dynamically. That means you could have a situation where this person dictionary will be created by data that is coming from somewhere. That means you don't have it from the start like this. So all you have to do is just like if you have to create it in a like dynamically, all you have to do is like as like just set new items like person, and then if you there was a situation you want to add a new key value, a new key and its value, you just add it like this. And in that situation you might need to provide a value like a key that you don't have beforehand. So what I'm really trying to say is that you must not you must not have all the items from the start like this. You can create entries in a dictionary incrementally, like dynamically, like as they're coming, and you just and you add them. So this person dictionary can have more properties. So and the next thing we are going to look at with dictionaries. One thing I would like to like the next thing we are going to look at are some of the rules we need to respect when using dictionaries. Some of the rules we need to respect when using dictionaries are like the key. We cannot have keys that like two keys with the same names. Yes, we cannot have two keys with the same name. Like you see, our person dictionary already has a first name property being John. If you try to assign another, like if we did something like, okay, we come down again and we still do first name Mark, just the second one will be considered. Like, so what I'm really trying to say is that a single dictionary cannot have like the keys in a dictionary like should be different. First of all, they're case sensitive. So if I change just this, if I make this, already they are different. This already makes it different. But if they are the same like this, you shouldn't do this, because since a key is mapped to a particular value, now using two keys, there's using a single key for two separate values, how would that be? So in this situation, no, just the first one will be sorry, just the last one will be considered. Just the last one will be considered. So we have first name Mark, and we already had first name John up. So if we try to run this, we will see that our dictionary will just respect the second name. You see, respect just Mark, which is which is the one set last. Meanwhile, John was initially there. So you have to respect the fact that you cannot use the same two keys that have to be the same name. But just doing something like this already changes everything, and in this case now you'll be able to have the two keys there. So because that, like, so another rule, so the first rule is that two keys don't like a dictionary cannot have two keys with the same names. The values can have the same, like you can have many values repeating like this, having the same like many values being the same, but keys cannot be the same, and keys are case sensitive. So the second rule is that keys are case sensitive. So in this case now we see we have first name and we have another first name with capital N right here at the end. So just doing this changes it, but if they were the same like so, that won't work. We will just respect the last one. So the two rules you should respect when working with dictionaries is that are that you cannot two keys cannot have the same name. Values can have the same name. That doesn't There's no issue with that, but keys cannot have the same name. Keys are what you have first here on the left, and values are what you have here. So values can have the same name, no problem, but keys cannot have the same. And keys are case sensitive. Keys are case sensitive. So now so the next thing we are going to look at, we are going to look at a few methods we can use with dictionaries. We are going to look at a few methods we can use with dictionaries. So the first method, there are situations you might want to use some of these methods. So the first method we are going to look at is the clear method. The clear method. So this method is used like the clear method, just like the name says. You might already guess what it does. It clears all the entries in a dictionary. Like it kind of just deletes everything in a dictionary. So maybe we could do something like person dot clear, and we call it, and let's say we go under and we try to print our person. We try to print our person under it. So you see like the first 4 lines, you have everything looks normal, but the last one, you are seeing just open and close curly braces, nothing in between. So that is due to this clear. It clears all the entries of a dictionary. So there might be a situation you want to maybe clear all the dictionary. Maybe you want to delete all the entries, like all the key value pairs in a dictionary, and then maybe add a new set of key value pairs. That's possible. You use something like clear. So we are going to comment it out because we need the dictionary we created to do other things. So the next method we are going to look at is the items method, which returns a collection of key value pairs. Like it returns it in a tuple form. So if we do something like, if we say let's create person 2, and we say dict. Actually, what person 2 is different. But what person 2 will be a list. That means person 2 will not be a dictionary. In fact, it will be good at changing the name so it's not confusing. Person list. Let's say person list. So no, the person list variable will be a list, and it's a list of key value pairs. It's a list of key value pairs from the person dictionary. So the method we are looking at is the items method. So let me just write it up here. So say items. We just saw clear. Now we are looking at items. So let's just say dot. So you know it's called on a dictionary. So if we say person dot items, and we do this, we know what we are basically doing it. We are trying to return all the items in person, and what it will do is it will return all the key value pairs. It will return a list of key value, like a list of key value pairs in the form of tuples from the person dictionary. So if we try to print, I know we have not looked at tuples, but we are going to look at them. So we try to print person list, and we run it. So we see dict items. We see it's a list. You can see square brackets here and here. So we are seeing first name comma mark, last name comma j. Those are tuples. This is the structure of a tuple. So like first name mark, last name j, sex male, date of birth 1990. So these are all tuples in a list. So these are all tuples in a list. So it is returned from calling the dot items method on a dictionary. So the next thing we are going to look at, another method which is similar to this items method, in that it returns a list of. So if this one is dot keys, dot key. So just like I'm sure by from the name you already know what it does. So it returns a list of keys from a dictionary. Returns a list of keys. So we could say person, let's say person keys. We want to remove all the keys from the person dictionary. There might be a situation you need to do something like this. Maybe you want to, I mean, there might be a situation. So what you all you do is you say person dot keys, like so. And now you should, the person keys variable holds a list of all the keys from the person dictionary. So you know the keys are first name, last name, sex, date of birth, and then like the last first name. So if we should do this, we are basically pulling, like getting a list of keys from the person dictionary and storing in a new variable we call person keys. So if we try to print person keys, we should see that we get all the keys from our dictionary. So we get first name, last name, sex, date of birth. So it returns to us just the keys from our dictionary. And like the next one we are going to look at is almost like the direct opposite of keys, which is dot values method, like the values method. So if we dot, let's say values, I'm sure you already know what this will do. So let's say person values. So this will return to us a list of the values, from a dictionary. So in this case, our person dictionary, we call the dot values method on it, and we like it returns to us a list of values from the from the person dictionary. And what we do is we store them inside the person values variable which we are creating. So if we try to print this person values variable, we try to print this, now we get just the names Mark J Mail 1990. So that's getting all the values in our dictionary. So all these methods, that situations when you like when you're in a real situation, when you're working on a project that like you might need to use them in different ways. Maybe check for certain things, check for certain like properties or keys in a dictionary before doing something. Like there are many ways you could find yourself needing to use them. So the next one we are going to look at is we are going to look at the pop method. So the way the pop method works is the pop method we saw, I'm sure we saw the pop in with list. So here the way the pop method works is, first of all, it takes a parameter. And first what the pop method does is just like we saw with list. The pop method removes an item, like removes a, for list it removes an item from our list. Yes, it removes an item from our list in this case. And with list we saw that it removes the last item, but in this case pop as a method takes a parameter, which is what we want to remove. That means we might want to remove a particular key value pair entry from our dictionary. We use pop, and what the parameter we pass to pop is the key. I mean, keys are supposed to be either like keys are supposed to be unique. That means you cannot have two keys that have the same like keys. Like you cannot have first name pointing to a certain value, and then in another first name still in the same dictionary pointing to another value. So keys are supposed to be unique in every dictionary. So if we are trying to use something like pop, which is supposed to delete or which is supposed to remove a key value pair, then it's just logical that we use a key and not the value. So, and the way it works is the pop method takes a parameter which is the key of the key value pair we want to remove from our dictionary, and it takes that key, but what it returns to us is the value. So let's say we want, like let's say let's say we want to remove, let's just say first name, because what it removes, it will give to us. So let's say we have a variable first name, and we also want to delete the first name entry, want to remove the first name entry from our person dictionary. So what we do is we say person dot pop. Now the what do you want to remove? We want to remove first name. So we know first thing, like now we know our person dictionary has a key per first name. So this pop method will work if there is a key, like if the specified key actually exists in our dictionary. If it doesn't exist, it won't do anything. But if it actually exists in our dictionary, then it will remove it. So what it does, it removes it but returns it to us. So it returns the value to us. So we have a first name variable we have created here on line 38, and we are calling the pop method on the person dictionary and passing a parameter first name, which is what the key we want to pop out of our person dictionary. So after doing this, if we try to print first name, this time as a variable, not part of our person dictionary, if we try to print first name and we save this and we run it, we see we get mark. So what pop does is, pop as a function takes a parameter which is the key of the key value pair we want to remove from our dictionary, and when we call it, it removes it, but it removes it and then returns it the value that is associated with that key. So just like you see, first name from here is mark. Forget about this one if you remember what I explained earlier. So first name from here is mark, and when we pop out the first name, it returns, like we are able to return it and hold it with this variable. When we start looking at functions, we are going to see, like when I say remove, like return or this and that, you'll be able to understand it better. But just know that it kind of is a way of, like, after doing something, bring it back an answer to you. So in this case, after popping, it brings back the value that is associated with the key we specified in our pop method, and we hold the value with a new variable we call first name. So trying to print first name, we see it gives us mark. And now under it, if we try to print person again, we should see that our person variable, our person dictionary no longer has a first name part to it. So you see, we just has last name, last name being J, sex male, date of birth 1990. It doesn't have the first name part to it. That's because we have popped it out. Here on line 38. So that's the pop method. So, and the pop method we saw takes a a parameter which is the key of the key value pair we want to pop out. Now there might be a situation where we want to pop out, want to remove because in this case we assume we need to specify the key of what we want to remove, but there might be a situation where we instead want to remove the last thing that was added to our dictionary. So in that case, all you have to do is there's the pop method. So this one we saw, this is dot pop, and the other method is dot pop, but rather pop item. So pop item. So the pop item method is just like the pop method, but the difference being that in the pop method we need to specify the key of the key value pair we want to remove from our dictionary. But for the pop method, you don't specify anything, you just call it and it removes the last item that was added in the dictionary. So in this case, let me see the last item that was added in the dictionary. Let's just assume on here on line 20 we are deleting our nationality. So okay, the last item that was added, okay, let's just say after, let's say somewhere here just above, we are adding another item to our dictionary. So let's say one person dot let's say height. Let's say we want our person to have a height property, that means a height key. and in this case let's say 1.85. So by doing this we have added a new key value pair, and if we try to print person again, we should see that we now have a height part, a height part to it with its value. So if we print it, we see we have height here being 1.85. So we know from there we have a height property to our we have a height property in our person dictionary. Now we are going to see the effect of the pop item method. So we saw what the pop does. We need to specify what we want to remove, but now for pop item, it just removes the last item that was added to the dictionary. So if we should call let's say we should call person dot pop item like so, and after that we try to print our person again. We know from line 44, just after adding the height key with and assigning it to a value of 1.85, we printed the person dictionary on line 44, and it gave us it gave us a dictionary that had a height part to it with its value. Now on line 47 we are calling the pop item method, which is the method we are looking now, which is supposed to remove the last item we added in our dictionary. And on line 48 we are printing person again. We should see that we are like on the last two lines, one has a height property to it, or like the second to the last height has a height key with a value with an associated value to it, while the last person print doesn't have that. So if we save this and try to run it, so we see here height 185, but now the last one doesn't have a height. That's because the pop item method works on, like, it pops out, it removes the last item that was added, and we know from here that in the last key that was added to our dictionary is height and was assigned to a value 185, which we could see. And then after calling the pop item method, it was removed again, so we get it here and we don't get it here. So that's another that's another method. And then the last method we are going to look at is we are going to look at update. We're going to look at update. So dot update. So so the way the dot update method works is it takes two dictionaries. So there might be a situation we want to use one dictionary to update another dictionary. Yes, you might want to use one dictionary to update another dictionary. So the way the update method works is it takes one dictionary and adds it, like it adds the key value entries to another dictionary. It adds its key value entries to another dictionary. So let's say we have a dictionary, let's just use A, in this case A, and we say A has one as value, B has 3 as value, C has 4 as value, and then we have another dictionary that we have D that holds 2 as a value, and we have E which holds 5 as a value. So if we call the update method, so for example we say A dot update, so we want to use B to update A. So what we do is we pass B, we pass the second dictionary. So the update method takes a parameter which is the dictionary we want to use to update another dictionary. So in this situation we already have one dictionary being A with some values, A like key value pairs, and we have another one being B. So we want to use B to update A. Now in this situation, let me just do something. Let me just make this a bit let's, so you can understand something. So let's just say we have F. Let's just say we have another key F which holds a value 1.0 1.0. We know our first dictionary, the this one A, like the first item is of A. Sorry, let me do this. I need to do. So we know our first dictionary has a key A that is assigned to 1, B assigned to 3, C like that. We see this. Now we see our second dictionary B also has its values. So we are calling the update method on A and passing B, which means we are trying to use B to update A. So like I explained, the update method works in a way it takes one dictionary and uses it to update another. That means things that don't exist, like keys that don't exist in the first dictionary, are like keys from the second dictionary that don't exist in the first dictionary are added with their values. For those that already exist in the first dictionary, they are updated with the values of the second dictionary. So in this case, we can clearly see that if there is one key that is already existent is A. So let's see what happens when we know A in this case is 1.0. We know in Python like 1 is different from 1.0. 1 here is an integer, 1 here is 1.0, so there are two different things. So I want to see how, like, I want you to see that effect of one dictionary updating another due to the fact that they have corresponding keys, like they have the same keys at some point, like in their entries. So if we do a dot update B and we try to print A after doing this, first of all, we know if there is a key, if you wanted to look at just the values, I'm trying to do it in a way that shows you something. So we know we have 1 in dictionary A, we have 1, we have 3, we have 4, and then in the other one we have, there's no 2 in the first one, so in the second one we have a 2, we have a 5, and we have a 1.1. So somehow we want to have a situation where our A still prints values from 1 to 5, but like the first item will be a float. So maybe I could do something like, instead make this the float and this an integer, so that what comes out is so if you try to run this, so we see A having a value 1, B having a value 3. So anyway, the order, like the way you add items in a dictionary matters. So normally Z comes, like we have added Z, like the fact that it comes to update the dictionary A which already existed, it means that the values of it come after, and so G appears right here. But you can clearly see G has a value of 2, and then E has a value of 5. So somehow we have used the second dictionary, which is B, to update the first one by adding items that didn't exist in the first one. We know E and G didn't exist in the first dictionary A. They have been added. Now A already existed in the first dictionary, but A had a value of 1.0. But when being printed here, since there's also an A in the second dictionary, like I explained, the key when two different, when using the update method, and it happens that there is a key in the second dictionary that also exists in the first dictionary, the value of the second, the key value pair of the second dictionary will be kept, will be respected. So for example, if in this case instead of 1, if we had 0, you see that we'll end up, we know we have A here and you still have A. We'll see that our final A dictionary, our updated A dictionary will be having 0 at as the value of A. When we run this, we are seeing A being 0. So that's the update method. It takes two dictionary, like use like it permits us to use one dictionary to update another, and it works by adding values from the second dictionary into the first. For value, like adding values that don't have existing keys in the first dictionary, it just adds them. But for those that already have existing keys, like but for key value pairs whose keys already exist in the first dictionary, it instead updates them. So that's the update method. So these are some of the methods we can use with dictionaries. There might be situations we need to use them in one way or the other, and some of the things we can do with dictionary. They are very important data type. Like in Python, once we start looking at other things, we might see different ways we can use them. But for now, so we are going to end here for today. So these are dictionaries in Python. Thank you.